One of the most tragic things that I have witnessed in my entire life of 64 years, happened yesterday. Here's what happened. We had jumped in our car and we were driving up to a city here in Bahia, not so far from where we live. And along the way, we saw many limbs of trees, bushes, if you will, in the middle of the road. And usually that's an indication of caution because there's something bad has happened up front. And instead of putting cones, which in these parts many people don't have, they do the next best solution, which is they cut branches and they put them in the middle of the road. And so we knew something bad had happened, so obviously we slowed down like everybody else. It's a rural area, so not too much traffic. But as we got close to where all this commotion was and there was a small group of people that had gathered, we saw that there was a motorcycle that was lying in the middle of the road. And then I heard a voice, "Pepi!" And it turned out it was a friend of ours who actually lives in the fishing village where we live. And him and his brother had gotten into a collision with a car, and the car was being driven by a drunk driver, maybe on alcohol or drugs or something like that. The sad thing is, the person driving the motorcycle, who was the brother of the guy who called out to me, had passed away because he had taken the full brunt of the collision with the car that had crossed the double yellow line, because it's a very curvy section of road up there, not only curvy but also going uphill. They were coming downhill, the car driver was going uphill, and in this section usually people drive faster than they should, and the car guy just didn't stay in his two lanes. He deviated into the one single lane where the motorcycle was coming down, and it was a head-on collision. The gentleman driving the motorcycle was, he lost half his arm. He broke both his legs. His face was smashed because the helmet was smashed. And the person who called out to me, he survived with a broken arm and some other superficial injuries because his brother, who was the one riding the motorcycle in the front, took the brunt of the collision. So isn't that what I realized yesterday by looking at this dead body sitting right there, literally, 6 feet from my face. And Elci was with me. We were both just in shock, along with people who started then gathering. The police had come. They were monitoring the scene. And what I learned from this is the worst thing I have seen in my entire life, close up. And to see this person dead just reminded Elci and I that life is a gift. Life is short. Life is a gift. You have to appreciate every day because you just don't know when it might be your last. Like this person who passed away, whose funeral is today. In fact, Elci is at his funeral right now. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to call too much attention to me being there. But Elci, who is Brazilian, and this is a fishing village and a small community, everybody knows her because she's the director of the church over here. Valuable lesson learned. Life is short. Don't wait to do tomorrow what you can do today. This person who passed away leaves behind a wife and 1 or 2 young children. Man, my heart really goes out to them, as does Elci. So don't live for tomorrow. Live for today.
I just arrived from a funeral. 2 brothers, 2 good people, working fathers, husbands. One died, the other one is wounded. Good people, a lot of people was there in the funeral. And I'm thinking, yesterday we passed on the road in a point we always say that is a dangerous place. And that happened, right? People that we know, we stopped to see if we could help, but we couldn't. Unfortunately, one of them died. And you start thinking about your life, right? Every time you go to a funeral. What are we doing in this world to make it worth it, right? Are you really doing what you are supposed to do? What God created you to do? That's what I'm thinking. And this is important. You cannot live a short life, a long life, whatever, and do nothing important. Leave no lessons behind. Think about it.
You mean legacy?
Yeah.
So what Elci and I have decided to do is take our van, our motorhome van Kombi, and spend a couple of months traveling with it. You see, ever since we bought our car about, this is coming up to February, so August, September, October, November, December, January. So for the last 6 months, we really haven't utilized our Kombi motorhome. It's primarily been sitting here gathering dust while we've been driving around in the car. So we are really missing traveling. And it would be really nice for us to once again create some memories, especially because we have not been to the northeastern part of Brazil, which is Salvador we've been to, but say from Salvador you've got Aracaju, you've got Maceió, you've got Recife, you've got Natal, you've got Fortaleza, you've got João Pessoa, close to Natal. There are plenty of places that are left for us to see in areas of Brazil that we've not been to. But it's still the carnival season, which is really busy, lots of crazy drivers, lots of drunk people on the roads. We are not too keen to travel until carnival ends, which is around the end of February. Then everybody's, all the kids are back at school, most of the holidays are over, all the rush goes away. And life returns to normal in the first week of March. So we're thinking of leaving closer to that point in time where, you know, prices are lower, there are no lines in restaurants, and so on and so forth. So the idea is to go up all the way the coast of northeastern Brazil, ending up in Fortaleza, and then coming down on the interior route back to where we live in Bahia. If nothing else, it will help us create some amazing memories of road travel like you've seen us do before, especially when we first came to Brazil about 4 years ago. This time, however, we've got Bella with us, so it'll be much more interesting having her with us, sleeping in the van with us, and creating memories with her, because she's always with me. No matter where I go, she's my shadow. She's always with me. So it's going to be fun to have her with us as we discover new places. And here's another thing. We've been talking about relocating, Elci and I, because this lifestyle has gotten a little bit too much for both of us. It requires a lot of maintenance, constant gardening, and we have to bring a gardener in here every month or two to clean up and this and that. And then she has to do laundry and then dry the laundry on clotheslines that you see behind me here. She loves to cook, and then, you know, for two people having to cook and then clean, there are not too many restaurant opportunities here in terms of variety. So we've been talking about maybe renting out this place of ours, which should be no problem to do, and going and living someplace, a much simpler life, maybe an apartment with 2 or 3 bedrooms. Because, you know, living a simple life, there's something to be said about it. You know, if we rented a 3-bedroom apartment with 3 bathrooms, one could be a guest room, one could be our bedroom, one could be a studio for both of us, etc. And I've seen many online that face the ocean and are in locations that are close to cities with live music, theater, lots of restaurant opportunities, diversity, etc., museums, etc., etc., right? So we shall see what the next month brings into our lives. And we look forward to sharing that with you.